What is up, everybody? It's Matthew here. Hope you guys are doing good. We're back here with, let me hear you guys, another video. We're going to check out the top five biggest rivalries in NFL history. Going to be a packed video for sure. Non-stop sport producing these bangers. Let me know in the comments down below what you want to see in the next one. Leave a thumbs up. You want to support this channel. Also, don't forget to subscribe to help me out, guys. Without further ado, let's dive right into the video.
Sometimes it's more fun to root against a team than it is to root for them. Every NFL fan has teams that they hate, mainly because they are the rival of a team that they root for. But rivalries are great for the game. They bring on high stakes and bad blood, which is must-see TV. Fans love to see the intensity and want to have the bragging rights when their team wins. Today, we're counting down the top 5 biggest rivalries in NFL history. 49ers versus Rams. This isn't the first matchup that comes to mind when you say NFL rivalries, but it should be. The battles between these two teams have been epic, spanning half a century. When two teams are so close to each other geographically, they naturally become rivals. The 49ers and Rams pit NorCal and SoCal against each other.
Bro, didn't the Rams and the 49ers play in this playoff against each other? If I'm not completely out doing some stuff there.
At least 2 times a year. 49ers-Rams is also one of the closest rivalries.
It's the NFC West, right?
It began in 1950 when the LA Rams won 35-14, and it was immediately the most heated rivalry in the early NFL. Both were the only original NFC West members and have battled for the division for 50 years. While the Rams moved to St. Louis for 20 years and cooled off some steam, it heated up like a microwave as soon as they returned to Los Angeles. No rivalry has had swings like this one. From the 50s until the 80s, LA dominated the series, going 30-19. This included going 17-3 against the Niners in the 70s. Then, the 49ers had one of the most dominant runs in history with Joe Montana, Steve Young, and Jerry Rice.
Would you say that these guys were better than people usually talk about, you know, the 90s Cowboys with Larry Allen and those guys? Would you say that these 49ers were better than the peak Cowboys?
The 80s and 90s, they had a 20-11 record against the Rams. Since then, they've been nearly as tight as you can be, bringing the series history to 71, 67, and 3 in favor of the 49ers. The two teams have only met once in the postseason, in 1990, to determine who was NFC champion. The Montana-led Niners dominated LA 30-3, going on to win the Super Bowl. Now, with both the Rams and 49ers being playoff contenders year in and year out, we may be seeing some more epic rivalry games in the near future.
Like we did this year when the Rams won, though. I mean, like, it was actually not that close of a game, if I remember correctly. But I mean, like, you know, you had Aaron Donald just slamming Garoppolo. I mean, like, the Rams were just really dominant this year.
Chiefs versus Raiders. Our next rivalry comes from 2 AFL Blue Bloods, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Oakland, now Vegas Raiders. Both of these organizations have some of the best fan bases in the world, pitting the Chiefs' kingdom against the Raider Nation. Running back Harvey Williams played for both the Chiefs and the Raiders in his career. When asked to describe the feud, he only needed one word: blood. In the young days of the league, the Chiefs and Raiders met nearly every year in the AFL playoffs to determine who would play in the Super Bowl. In 121 grueling matchups, the Chiefs have the advantage with a 67-53 record. In 1970, the two teams engaged in a bench-clearing brawl after the Raiders speared Len Dawson after a play. The retaliation led to giving the Raiders new life, where they went on to win the game and knock their hated rivals out of the play.
Bro, like, back in the days, I mean, like, those old footages we see from the Raiders, they looked like a real massive team back then.
Playoffs. The division rivals circle this game on their schedules as every year's must-wins. Both teams have had so many connections over the years. Hall of Fame running back Marcus Allen spited Raider owner Al Davis by signing with the Chiefs, fueling the hatred between the team in the 80s. Rich Gannon started his career with the Chiefs before they dropped him, and then he became the quarterback for the Raiders, where he won an MVP and led them to multiple victories over KC. Gunther Cunningham, a coach for both teams in his career, called it a dark game, and the product we've seen on the field over the years is a testament to that. the NFC East versus the Cowboys.
Yeah, I've seen so much crap about this one, I remember when I was watching the Cowboys versus Eagles this year, I didn't understand what it was about, but you would see, tens of thousands of comments pre-game. You would see like Eagles fans bashing, fly Eagles fly, we them boys, whatever, all this stuff, they were just bashing each other. Looked like a huge hatred between those two teams.
When you're named America's team,
I think it's so cool that they actually named themselves. I mean, I can really understand how they piss so many people off, because it's like probably the most cocky thing you can name yourself.
have to expect some haters. Well, the NFL's love for the Dallas Cowboys has created a deep hatred from the other three teams in the NFC East: the Philadelphia Eagles, the New York Giants, and the Washington Football Team. It probably helps that the Cowboys' popularity puts nearly every division game on primetime TV, but all three teams consider it a good year when they beat the boys. This is the pressure and glory
We them boys.
that comes with putting that star on your helmet. You play 6 rivalry games a year, and every team in the league wants to beat you. Another reason the NFC East hates the Cowboys is that they can rarely beat them, as the boys have had double-digit leads in all 3 series. What really makes the dissension in the East so important is that every member of the division has won Super Bowls. While the East is still chasing the Cowboys' 5 chips, the Giants have 4 themselves, the Skins have 3, and Philly just recently won their first Super Bowl. In the past 30 seasons, an NFC East team has represented in the NFC Championship game 21 times. While no team in the NFC East likes one another, they know that if they beat the Cowboys, a shot at the Super Bowl becomes real.
Why do so many people though hate the Cowboys? Because I was checking out all of these like groups, and I would see that there are plenty of people that really dislike the Cowboys. Like, why is that? Like, why do so many people dislike the Cowboys? Like, is there something? Is it like their cockiness, their fan base, or is it just like a meme that you should hate them? Let me know in the comments.
Some of the best moments include Emmitt Smith carrying the boys over the Giants with a separated shoulder, bowling for 230 yards and a winner-take-all. The
With a
Eagles
separated
played
shoulder.
the boys in the 1981 NFC Championship game, beating them for their first Super Bowl appearance. Cowboys quarterback Roger Staubach will forever be remembered for bringing the Cowboys back when they were down 17-0 against the Redskins in 1979. His game-winning comeback drive clinched the division in another winner-take-all matchup. Every time the NFC East faces off, it's a big game. The division includes teams from 4 of the biggest sports markets in the country, and you feel that magnitude when they play. All in all, though, it's pretty simple. If you aren't one of the boys, you want to beat the boys. Ravens versus Steelers.
Oh yeah.
The top rivalry is the most historical, but the Ravens and Steelers is by far the most entertaining. Every time these two teams face off, the stakes are high, and every tick of the clock feels important. Both clubs were built on playing gritty, hard-nosed football, so when the two match up head-to-head, it's electric.
I remember this from this year's playoff, like the last seasonal game, where you had the Steelers versus the Ravens, because since the Colts lost to the Jags, and like the Raiders beat the Chargers, the Steelers would be able to like qualify, and it was between the Steelers and the Ravens. I think, bro, that game was intense. It was so defensive, really hard game. It was really good to watch.
It's by far the youngest rivalry, with the Ravens coming into the league in 1996, but it still remains the most passionate. Both teams are teamingly always in the playoff hunt, and being that the division rivals play at least twice a year, every time they meet, something is on the line. The feud really came to a head in 2008, when the teams played each other 3 times in one season. The first game needed a game-winning field goal for the Steelers to win. Controversy filled the second Steelers victory, and the third was a meeting in the AFC Championship game. Steelers safety Ryan Clark knocked out Ravens running back Willis McGahee with a blow that sent him to the hospital, and Troy Polamalu's heroics sealed a third Steelers victory. They would go on to split each series for the next few years. It almost always came down to the winner of this matchup making the AFC Championship game, with Roethlisberger dueling against Raven greats Ed Reed and Ray Lewis. This rivalry had everything: late-game touchdowns, controversies, huge hits, and even coaches inadvertently getting involved in the game. The colors of purple and yellow just clash perfectly, just as the Steelers and Ravens have done for so many years. Bears versus Packers.
Oh,
Chicago
really?
versus Green Bay is the epitome of NFL football. The two teams have met an insane 200 times, and the rivalry began all the way back in 1921. We're talking since before the Great Depression. The Bears and Packers have been going at it. Before the Ford Pass was legal, the Bears and Packers' hatred for each other was already well established.
So cool.
The first ejection in NFL history spawned from this rivalry, when Bears' Frank Haney and Packers' Tilly Voss threw punches in 1924. Some of the biggest names in NFL history have stamped their legacy on the game through this rivalry. Names such as Bronco Nagurski, Walter Payton, Bart Starr, Paul Hornung, Brian Urlacher, Brett Favre, and Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
The two teams finally met in their first playoff game in
Do you guys think that Aaron Rodgers is better than Tom Brady? Let me know.
2010, dubbed the most important game in the history of their rivalry. With a shot at the Super Bowl on the line, the Packers won 21-14 after the Bears quarterback was knocked out of the game. Backup Caleb Haney came in for relief, ultimately throwing the game-sealing interception. Overall, the two teams have 22 NFL championships. The Bears have taken 24-game leads
So cold.
in the series history twice, yet the Packers currently hold the winning edge at 99-95. There's a reason that the NFL's 100th season was opened with the Bears and Packers facing off. This rivalry is football at its core. So, what do you guys think? Who's your team's biggest rival?
Let me know in the comments down below your favorite rival and what rival do you think is the best one. Really good video. I think it's super interesting to learn about this because, you know, rivalries is really what, you know, keeps sports alive. You really want them in there. Really interesting video, really good video. Thank you, Nonstop Sports. Let me know in the comments down below your favorite rivalry. Leave a like if you enjoy this. Also make sure to subscribe if you haven't done that already, so don't miss out on any of these contents. Well, as per usual, guys, I will catch you guys around in the next video.